In a quiet little village nestled between rolling hills, there lived a curious cat named Milo. Milo wasn't like the other cats who spent their days napping in sunny spots or chasing butterflies. Milo loved solving mysteries. He had a keen nose for adventure and a knack for finding things that others couldn't. One crisp morning, as the village buzzed with activity, something unusual happened. Mrs. Poppy, the baker, rushed into the town square, waving her hands in distress. "The great cherry pie is missing," she cried. Now, this wasn't just any pie. It was the biggest, most delicious cherry pie in the entire village, baked every year for the harvest festival. The villagers gasped. Who could have taken it? Milo's ears perked up. "This sounds like a job for Detective Milo," he declared, adjusting his tiny red scarf that he always wore on investigations. He began his search at the bakery. The smell of cherries still lingered in the air. Milo sniffed around and noticed tiny paw prints leading out of the back door. Someone small has been here, he thought. The paw prints led him to the garden of Mr. Whiskers, an old and grumpy raccoon who was known for his love of snacks. Milo peeked over the fence and spotted cherry stains on Mr. Whiskers' paws. "Mr. Whiskers," Milo called out. "Did you take the great cherry pie?" The raccoon looked up from his nap, startled. "Me? No way. I just found these cherries on the ground near the bakery and couldn't resist a taste." Milo squinted but decided Mr. Whiskers was telling the truth. The paw prints continued past the garden and into the woods. As Milo followed the trail deeper into the forest, he heard giggling. He crept quietly behind a bush and saw 3 mischievous chipmunks gathered around a pile of crumbs, and what looked like a piece of pie crust. "Aha!" Milo exclaimed, jumping out from behind the bush. The chipmunks froze, their cheeks stuffed with cherries. "Why did you take Mrs. Poppy's pie?" Milo asked sternly. One of the chipmunks swallowed nervously and said, "We didn't mean to. We were so hungry, and it smelled so good. We only took a little piece. But then we accidentally knocked it over." Milo sighed but softened when he saw how sorry they looked. "You made a mistake," he said gently, "but you need to make it right." The chipmunks nodded eagerly. Together with Milo, they gathered all the cherries they could find in the forest and brought them back to Mrs. Poppy. When they explained everything to her, Mrs. Poppy smiled kindly. "Everyone makes mistakes," she said, "but what matters is that you tried to fix it." With everyone's help, Milo supervising, of course, they baked an even bigger cherry pie just in time for the harvest festival. That evening, as the villagers gathered to enjoy the pie under twinkling lights, Milo sat proudly by Mrs. Poppy's side. Another mystery solved, he purred to himself, and from that day on, whenever something went missing in the village, everyone knew who to call: Detective Milo. The cleverest cat in town.